generals, admirals, commanders, officers, senior enlisted, NCOs, enlisted, and every member of our American military. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the War Department. Because the era of the Department of Defense is over. You see, the motto of my first platoon was, "Those who long for peace must prepare for war." This is, of course, not a new idea. This crowd knows that. The origin dates to the 4th century Rome and has been repeated ever since, including by our first commander-in-chief, George Washington, the first leader of the War Department. It captures a simple yet profound truth. To ensure peace, we must prepare for war. From this moment forward, the only mission of the newly restored Department of War is this: warfighting. Preparing for war and preparing to win. Unrelenting and uncompromising in that pursuit. Not because we want war, no one here wants war. But it's because we love peace. We love peace for our fellow citizens. They deserve peace, and they rightfully expect us to deliver it.
Senior leaders, good morning. Wow, what a group here today. I will tell you that our enemies are terrified right now that we are all in the same room, and that is a true statement. Welcome everyone to Marine Corps Base Quantico and the first ever Key Leaders All Call. To the Commandant and all of the Marines that have made this event possible, thank you. This was no small feat to put this event together in short order, and I'm glad there's pull-up bars just outside. The SEALs in the corner out there are very happy about that. I regret to inform you there will not be a PT test after this event because I know you all would crush it. Last night I had the privilege of joining the Secretary and the Joint Chiefs in honoring 50 Gold Star families at the White House as the President, the First Lady, and our nation honored their loved ones' service and sacrifices. Teammates, it was a quiet and deeply meaningful event that reminded all of us that were lucky enough to be there of the serious and unforgiving nature of the business that we are in, fighting and winning our nation's wars. Leaders, we are living in dynamic and potentially dangerous times. Global risk is on the rise. Our adversaries are no longer aligning, they are aligned. And we must align with equal resolve and unity. Even as we strive for and seek peace, we must be prepared for war. Now, more than ever, it is vital that we hear from our civilian leaders, understand where they're taking the department and the joint force. And today, we have the unprecedented opportunity and honor to hear directly from the Secretary of War and our Commander-in-Chief. Together, you and I and our civilian leaders have the honor of leading the finest military in the world. And we must seize every opportunity, every day, to prepare our joint force for the future. I am deeply humbled to serve with each and every one of you.
You will be destroyed. If you want to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. This is very serious. China's policy is very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. That's why Mr. Abrams also challenged me, saying that China's military buildup is a challenge, a threat to our neighboring countries. I told him point blank, no country in China's neighborhood is a match against China in terms of military power. China's military buildup is a matchup against only one country, that is the United States. China will never allow the United States to launch a war against China, conventional or nuclear, without suffering devastating consequences. What I learned from Yale PhD program, between nuclear power states, you never fight a war. Because if you fight a war, you will have MAD, mutually assured destruction. China and the United States eventually will need to live in peace. Whatever problems they have, they need to resolve them in peace, in negotiation, in diplomacy. That's why, if you have not watched the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd, one of the weapons China demonstrated is a missile with all the warheads. We call it 61 because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads plus one hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has hydrogen bomb? China is the only country with hydrogen bomb. And that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted. I hope Washington has learned the lesson. If you want to have war, you will get war. If you want to destroy China,
the missile arms race is exploding. The Pentagon orders U.S. manufacturers to double or even quadruple missile production amid fears of a conflict with China. On the other hand, China and Russia are accelerating their own missile manufacturing, fueling unprecedented global tensions. Here's a report.
Missiles are the new currency of power, and the world is racing for supremacy. The Pentagon is pushing defense contractors to ramp up production at a breakneck pace, targeting a 2.5 to 4 times increase in output over the next 2 years. The focus is on 12 critical missile types, including Patriot interceptors, long-range anti-ship missiles, and precision strike missiles, vital for air, sea, and land dominance in a potential China conflict. This urgent surge follows a thin US stockpile diminished by years of supporting Ukraine and countering threats in West Asia. The Pentagon's goal, nearly 2,000 Patriot missiles annually, nearly 4 times the current output. Backed by a $10 billion contract from 2024 to 2026. Across the South China Sea, Beijing responds not with words, but with spectacle. During its recent military parade, China rolled out the arsenal of a rising superpower. Hypersonic vehicles, new cruise missiles. The message was unmistakable. China's industrial base is deep, fast, and relentlessly innovative. Meanwhile, While in Moscow, President Putin has achieved a chilling synergy. Russia's war machine is no longer a separate entity. It is now woven directly into the fabric of the Russian economy. Moscow is pushing out cruise missiles, artillery shells, and ballistic systems at levels unseen since the Soviet era, fueling its ongoing war in Ukraine and signaling to NATO that it won't run dry. Moscow is looking beyond the war in Ukraine. Even if the war stops today, experts in Russia could export $17 billion to $19 billion of military kits annually for the next 4 years. This isn't Cold War nostalgia, it's industrial warfare preparation unseen in history. Three superpowers are racing to build arsenals capable of sustaining prolonged high-intensity conflict. The winner gets deterrence, the loser risks catastrophic military defeat.